Hey, this is Mohal Joshi from Los Angeles, California. I follow Indian foreign policy and defense with a special focus on Asia. You can follow me on Twitter at Mohal Joshi.
Hey, this is Kishor from Bengaluru in India. I am an international relations expert specializing in global security, conflict resolution, and international negotiation. My focus areas include peace building and digital diplomacy. You can find me on Twitter at Veggie Diplomat. Hello and welcome to episode 41 of India Rising, Strategic Affairs Conversations with Mohal and Kishor, a show in which we analyze the happenings from around the world and their impact on India. This week, we are back with Pakistan. Pakistan seems to be never away from the news, and therefore we are covering it again in good detail this time around. As everybody knows, we have political uncertainty that is clogging in the country, but we will go a step back and try to quickly analyze what happened in the SCO summit that was organized in India, and then move over to the political ramifications of whatever has happened in Pakistan. So, Mohal, just the last week around, we had the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit of the foreign ministers of all the member countries, held in Goa, here in India, and Pakistan's foreign minister Bilawal Bhutto Sardari was the representative from Pakistan. He had come over to Goa, the first foreign minister of Pakistan to visit India in about 12 years. He apparently seemed to have got a very cold welcome from the External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar. And there were talks about how Jaishankar apparently told him that you are a justifier of terror, you are a perpetrator of terror, and therefore we cannot talk to you as if you are a victim of terror. And that has gone viral here in India. And the namaste that everybody saw in the viral video that we saw when there was the photo opportunities. Now that was apparently termed as a snub by the Indian establishment towards the Pakistani establishment, telling that terror and talks cannot go hand in hand. And I mean, this situation has continued to pester on for a long time now, maybe 2.5, 3 years, or maybe even more, close to 4 years, especially after the Pulwama attack. So I think that's the situation that we have in terms of the bilateral between India and Pakistan. Bilawal Bhutto Sardari also gave an interview to Rajdeep Sardesai of India Today, and I saw him raising the same old bogey of Samjhauta Blast and the Kulbhushan Yadav's arrest, so on and so forth, and not really talking about meaningful action that could be taken, at least from the Pakistan side. So that was the backdrop of the trust deficit that continues between India and Pakistan. Mohal, did you get to watch that interview? Do you have any analysis of what happened there?
No, I mean, I didn't watch the interview per se, but I did see the commentary beyond. I mean, Pakistan could have used this to open some sort of dialogue with India, but instead he was harping back on, the India has to go back to the 4th August 2019 position on Kashmir, which is basically reimposing Article 370, which is a complete non-starter. So he was taking many positions where they would find no common ground with India. So it was like probably a lost opportunity there, but I guess he wanted to just show his credential. It was like more for domestic posturing in Pakistan. I mean, we'll be approaching probably in 6 months from now elections again in Pakistan. So he might want to be their top dog come election, assuming that Imran is disqualified or can't cobble to the majority. So this would be it was like more posturing, but I mean, it looks, and I think Even Jaishankar made the comment that if you are an ungracious guest, then we will not be a gracious host. Something I'm very paraphrasing here, but he tried to like do one up on India, and I think Jaishankar kind of put him in his place for that.
Right, right. Yeah. So that was with regards to the SEO summit. And we have a heads of state meeting coming up sometime in July, when probably the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shahbaz Sharif, will be flying down to India. So the stage has been set. We know that there will be a lot of bickering between India and
So
Pakistan.
this is the SEO summit in India,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
okay.
India being the chair for this time around. So we will
Mm-hmm.
have Shahbaz Sharif probably flying down, and obviously he would not want to miss that opportunity to come down. So that should be happening. But probably what might happen is instead of the spotlight on the SEO, including probably Putin coming down or even Xi Jinping coming down, we might see more spotlight on the bickering between India and Pakistan. So I think that might be something to watch out for. But
Yeah.
anyway, I think that is for the future. We can talk about it when we get there. But we'll quickly move on to what's happening domestically within Pakistan. And we all know that there has been a lot of political uncertainty. We know that Imran Khan lost the confidence vote in the parliament and therefore had to step down. The opposition cobbled up an alliance among themselves, PPP and PMLN. They cobbled up an alliance. So you now have Shahbaz Sharif being the prime minister with the support from Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, who himself is the foreign minister. So in the past 5 6 months, that's the new forces in power. And Imran Khan has been very vocal in setting up rallies, trying to whip up the sentiments of the people and especially his supporters who never missed an opportunity to come down to come onto the streets and try to protest. So we have had enough rallies. One rally, of course, we all know what happened. There was apparently an attack on the life of Imran Khan himself, which we have spoken about in our previous podcast episode. So the same political uncertainty continues even now, and Imran Khan continues to face multiple charges. I think by the latest count, he has around 70 cases on him, ranging
I
from
think it, I
embezzlement
think
of funds to blasphemy and so on. Yeah, Mohal.
yeah, I think I heard like it was like over 100, but I mean actually in one of the interview he was joking that, oh, I'm approaching a century. I mean, being a cricketer, he had to use a
Okay.
cricketing term. So yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I think and it's the cases are in like all parts of the country. So
Right.
it's a,
Yeah.
I mean, as he claims, it's a concerted attack on him by the army or the deep state. I mean, also the incumbent government, Shahbaz Sharif and Bhuttos, they are no friend of Imran Khan. So they would also want to put him in his place and ensure that he gets bogged down in a ton of cases. I mean, I think they would might need just conviction in one case in theory to have him disqualified from future elections. So, uh,
Right. I mean, some of them can be a pardonable offense, like say, for example, embezzlement of funds can be pardonable, but cases like blasphemy, I think there is no way he can escape them if the army decides to tighten the screws on him. So I think
mhm, mhm.
the worst is yet to come in terms of the legal battles. But Mohal, regarding the actual case where his bail petition was dismissed, do you want to talk about that? The one that
Yeah,
came in the news a couple of days back?
yeah. So I think the case that he came to court was the Al Qadir case.
Mhm.
So what happened is that there was a businessman, I forget his name, Kishor.
Mr. Hussein Riyaz Hussein or somebody from London.
Yeah. So he was, I mean, you can just look it up like while I speak about the case. So basically, This businessman, he was in UK, and he was investigated by the serious fraud offenses division in UK, and he was found to have dirty money. So as part of the deal with the UK authorities, he agreed to surrender like 190 million pounds. Now technically this was money that was like to be sent to back to Pakistan, and the money should have gone to the exchequer in Pakistan. But what Imran Khan did was he gave the money back to, I believe, like Riaz Hussain, right? That's his name.
Malik Riyas Hussain, apparently one of Pakistan's richest
Yeah,
and
yeah,
most
Malik.
powerful businessmen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Malik Riaz Hussain. So the deal was that, I mean, if the money was simply given back, okay, it's still not improper. Like if dirty money was earned by this individual, it should have gone back to the government and not given back to the individual who has done a crime. So what Imran did was he ended up giving back the money to the individual. So this actually wealthy, highly wealthy individual. I think he's one of Pakistan's richest
Mm,
men. So, but there was a alleged quid pro quo. So basically, there was a university called Al Qadir University, which was set up, or whose founding, like, uh, a hand was played by Imran Khan's third and current wife, or
mm,
actually like Mushra Bibi. So the land for the university was given by this Malik Riaz Hussain. So the allegation is that in exchange, in lieu of getting the 190 million pounds, which was given over by UK authorities, was given to Riaz Hussain by Imran Khan, and in return he got land for his university that like his wife was setting up. So this was like a serious allegation, and I think the National Accounting Bureau, which is like kind of a Jan Lokpal. I mean, we don't have it in India. I mean, I know there was a lot of push during the Anna Hazare movement to set up one of those, but it's kind of like a very powerful body. Like they booked Imran Khan in this case for the quid pro quo,
yeah.
and he was brought to court, and the Pakistani Rangers, which is kind of equivalent of the BSF, they picked up Imran Khan under heavy securities, and they forcibly took him away, and he was arrested and he's sent to, I mean, supposedly it says they're in somewhere in Rawalpindi,
Mm,
beyond the reach of his supporters. Because last time, if you remember, when they were serving a warrant or a notice, I guess I forget like the details, to him in his hometown, or at least personal home, the protesters did a lot of violent rioting, and uh, they like kind of defeated the authorities
mm.
from trying to reach him. So they anticipated such this there could be a lot of resistance from his supporters, but they were somehow able to whisk him away from the court premises to
Yeah.
an undisclosed location.
Yeah.
Kishor.
And apparently there was also a video that he had recorded. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so in the video, shortly before his arrest, I mean, he knew that the things were coming to an head.
Mm,
He did mention that he was going to be arrested, and he repeatedly talked about a person, which is basically Major General Faisal Nasir. He's like pretty high up in the ISI, the Services Intelligence.
mm,
He's a Director General of Counterintelligence, which is basically, counter espionage. So
mm, mm,
he said that this guy, Major General Faisal Nasir, tried to kill me twice. I mean, the one attempt, we know that he was at one of
mm.
his rallies and he was shot in the leg. But the
Correct.
other is like supposedly he claimed that he tried to kill him twice. And he also said that this is the same person, like Major General Faisal Nasir, who was behind the previous assassination attempt, was also the same person responsible for murder of a journalist called Ashrat Sharif, who was killed
Mm-hmm.
in Kenya. I mean, the Kenya police
Mm, mm,
looked, uh, they ruled out foul play, and they said it was just a killing of it was like a mistaken identity, like a killing because of mistaken identity. But like a lot of people in Pakistan don't believe, some believe, as Imran Khan believe, that the state had a hand in it, because he was like very against the deep state in Pakistan, so he had a target on his back. because of that, and he was supposedly in hiding in Kenya, but he still got killed. So, anyways, coming back to the story, like Imran Khan was just making these insinuations, and I think at that day or the day after, like the DGISPR, the the PR arm of the ISI, they came out with a strong statement condemning this allegations from Imran Khan, and even um, I think Shabazz Sharif. I mean, I haven't looked at those tweets, but they supposedly they tweeted in support of the Pakistan army. I think this was like maybe a bridge too far. I mean, Imran Khan has been making these bombastic statements and blaming
Mm.
everybody or picking up like a fight with the army. I mean, usually in Pakistan, like not many prime ministers have survived having a bruising fight with the army, but maybe I
Yes.
think this was a step too far, and I think the army or the deep state, whatever you want to call it, like decided to take action at him and like arrest him.
Mm.
And then I mean, Kishore, you can
Yeah,
cover the events after that, like all hell break loose, kind of after
correct.
his
So
news of his
on
arrest came out.
Yeah, on that day, surprisingly or coincidentally, or whichever way you want to look at it, the Prime Minister of Pakistan was not in Pakistan. He was in London. The official reason was that he went to witness the coronation of the king in London, and then the army chief himself was not in Pakistan. Apparently, he was in Oman, and the national security advisor also was not in Pakistan. So you had the top three decision makers not being in the country. And the same day, Imran Khan was arrested. And this led to a lot of conspiracy theories. But then, conspiracy theories apart, this led to a predictable uprising by the supporters of his party, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. And what we saw was pretty much looting and arsoning, setting fire to national symbols, even attacking the GHQ in Rawalpindi. So I think we saw
And
predictable
also,
kind
I
of
mean,
attack.
uh, sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt, but like also like this is kind of unimaginable for like folks in India that like GHQ, which is the army headquarters in Rawalpindi, could be
the
breached
ultimate
like
nerve
this by,
center. Yeah.
yeah, the ultimate center of power in Pakistan. I mean, we all say that okay, like even though their civilian government is in Islamabad,
Mm.
GHQ, where the Pakistan army headquarters is, that's where the real power lies in Pakistan. So it was kind of like that symbolic um, power center was breached, and even the Lahore Corps commander's
How? Yeah,
house was breached by
torched.
protesters, and then I
Yeah,
think
not only breached but also torched
yeah, torch.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, and there was like it's kind of interesting that the army wasn't fighting back for now. Maybe they just want to
Hmm.
let the rioters, or maybe they were shocked by the response, or maybe they were thinking that maybe we'll take some action later on and they will slowly crack down on the protesters. Even
Probably.
like
Yeah.
that signage in one of the Pakistan Air Force bases. I mean, there's a video circulating
Hmm.
Mian Wali. Uh, Signage was damaged in that Air Force base. So it is quite a bit of like violence. I mean, usually we haven't seen this kind of violence in like recent years. Maybe it might have happened like a long time ago, but it is in the advent of social media. We haven't seen
Yeah.
such a
In
outpouring
fact,
of violence, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. The protests were actually widespread from everywhere, from Peshawar to Karachi to Lahore to Rawalpindi. So I think the scale was not expected, but be that as it may, PTI supporters kind of ran amok on that one evening and one night, and eventually we had that social media blackout on the mobile phones.
Yeah.
Mobile internet was banned, so we did not get enough information
Hmm.
through the night. But
Yeah.
essentially, we kind of could figure out what was happening in the country all through the
Yeah, and
night.
even yesterday, I think I've seen some videos where there have been some spurts of violence even yesterday. So maybe it's
Hmm.
dying down, but it'll be kind of interesting to see what the government. I mean, I think Shahbaz Sharif, I think you forwarded a tweet saying that he might be having an address to the nation.
Address to the nation. Yeah, yeah.
But I mean,
I
but
mean,
he's still in
people
London.
were
That's kind of weird. That is he going to do it from London or what?
yeah, I mean, again, we don't know the complete details. People were thinking that he might address the nation yesterday itself, as we are recording it on the morning of 11th of May here in India. But then he has not yet addressed the nation, so he might as well do it today. Again, that will be something to watch out for. But yeah, so right now what we see is huge anger upon the army establishment by the PTI supporters. So what we see is just one political party expressing their displeasure and anger against the army. Mind you, this is not party workers of all parties, so we still have to make that distinction. In fact, the private residence of Shahbaz Sharif was also attacked by the PTI supporters. So PTI supporters are kind of leaving no stone unturned in burning all the bridges that they can, and they have absolutely nobody to support their cause in whichever way. So I think they are all geared up for that kind of a ultimate revolution that they keep talking about. So that's where things are. It's kind of heading to that kind of a situation where nobody can concede an inch. So essentially, the establishment, the army, or even the executive will come out with extreme force. Is what I tend to believe. Mohal, you agree to that?
Yeah, I think there are already some reports that they started to arrest uh, folks
Hmm.
who are like close to PTI, or like, I mean, the interesting part is like usually the army is pretty united on these events, even in times of Musharraf or later
Yeah.
generals. But there is like kind of a schism in the army where some of the retired
Hmm.
folks are kind of supporting. I think Imran does have like broad-based support, like while the two parties like the Bhuttos, or I mean the PPP and the Bhuttos and the Nawaz Sharif and the PMNL, they are like more like feudal type of parties who have this also aristocratic support.
Hmm.
So like the upper middle class or the lower middle class, a lot of them they have. I mean, Imran Khan does enjoy a lot of support. So the army is kind of stuck that they don't have a viable uh, um, alternative, like that they could prop up to run Pakistan, because I
Hmm.
mean, from what the reports are saying, they don't think they have any intention of running. And also in today's media age, if army had to do a military coup and take over Pakistan, I mean, it would just generate a lot of negative publicity, especially when they're kind of struggling economically and
Yeah.
to get back on their foot. I don't think they want to get into business, because if it goes, see, there's no upside technically. I mean, if it runs well, I mean, they would all be, say Pakistan army runs Pakistan, so they won't get much credit. But like if it goes downhill, then they're going to get blamed. So why even take up that thing? I mean, they just probably might just want to go to the next election, which might be in July or August, and try to see if
Yeah.
there is a better alternative they could prop up at a later time, maybe like Nawaz Sharif's daughter Mariam Sharif. I don't think Shabazz Sharif is. I mean, talking to like few folks, what I the sense I got was like a lot of the people, some of
Hmm.
the support is definitely organic for Imran Khan, but some of the other support is, I think, people are just fed up with the two main parties,
Yes.
like the Bhuttos and the, I mean, the two main families, the Bhuttos and the Sharifs. I mean,
Sorry.
I would say like
Yeah.
it's, I mean, there's not a never a proper analogy, but maybe the closest I would say is like something like what you have in Punjab in India, like because the Badals and the Congress have been ruling Punjab for such a long time, like people got fed up and just voted for a complete outsider, and like kind of an
Hmm.
Arvind Kejriwal type. So I mean, I'm not saying like Imran Khan is equivalent to Arvind Kejriwal the other way around, but like he represents a change. I mean,
Hmm.
interestingly, like this person was telling me that maybe if Imran Khan was left in power and if he had completed 5 years in office, maybe he might have not gotten elected,
Hmm.
because I mean, a lot of his economic policies had missed the mark. So the blame would have come. But now, like he can easily, since he's in opposition, he can quickly blame the
Hmm.
current government for the mess, and kind of get the sympathy vote, right? I mean, so that's why I think people are, so like, not some of the support is organic for Imran Khan, but a lot of the anger also is saying like this guy was unjustly removed from his power. And I mean, no doubt he has a, we might call him the dim, but like he has a cult personality and a lot of charisma and following, I think, which, I mean, you can see if Sabah Sharif, he is not like any he
Yeah.
doesn't have any charisma. And then like Bilawal Bhutto, I think the less said is better, and he just wants to run his mouth off at every
Hmm.
opportunity to show like he's like a hardcore nationalist, and like India hating guy, but
Hmm.
I mean, you don't see any future. Like, I mean, he might become a PM, let's say, in a coalition government like 6 months from now, but you don't see him like a prime material who could uh
Take the country along with him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and entice the crowds to align. So I mean, we are left with Imran Khan, but like, I mean, who knows? Like, army would just want to get him
Hmm.
disqualified to maybe just do this khichdi sarkar of, like, a coalition government for a few years until they find a new viable alternative
Hmm.
in the long run. But I mean, so this is a situation. I mean, uh, so Kishore, like, now moving on, what do you think are the implications for India?
Yeah, just before that, one quick point that I wanted to make
Mm-hmm.
about the protest and how the army seems to be soaking up all the pressure. One dimension of all this has been that the army itself seems to be checking who are the Imran Khan supporters within the army establishment. It can be a brigadier, it can be a
Yeah, yeah.
general, whoever. So that way you get to find out who the Rottenecks are within the army
Mm-hmm.
establishment and then take them out and when you are taking out the PTI machinery itself. So I think that
Yeah.
way there seems to be a cleansing happening both within the political circles and also possibly within the army itself. And that is something that can be quite interesting because until now the army was kind of apolitical because it was superseding all the political establishment. But with the onset of Imran Khan, there was that schism that had come in within the army. So I think the army apparently looks to be closing within its ranks, trying to get rid of not only Imran
Weed
Khan
out.
but also the Imran Khan supporters within the
Mm-hmm.
army establishment. Yes. So I
But
think
I mean,
that is one thing that will be
yeah,
interesting to watch
yeah,
out.
yeah. I think they will try to do it, but I think it's still hard because he just enjoys broad support within certain sections of society.
Hmm.
So yeah, they might try to weed out and support. I mean, they will have to find some way to wiggle out of this situation where they
Hmm.
can't completely get off Imran Khan. And I mean, Imran Khan has said, like, I'm not leaving Pakistan unless, unlike like Nawaz Sharif or Bhutto who went out in exile to foreign countries. So he's going to like sort of whatever it may be his fate. I mean,
Hmm.
politically and like physically, like, because I mean, prime ministers are always like an endangered species in Pakistan. So
Hmm. True.
he's going to like ride his luck, and I mean,
Hmm.
he might start believing in himself as like in a larger than life
The
uh
martyr. Hmm. The yeah.
yeah,
Who
not the martyr, but like, that he is like beyond like nobody can touch him, kind of, kind of personality. And
Hmm.
that might have get him into trouble, like, making these comments against the senior major general of ISI. I mean, never gets you anywhere in, I mean, there's not
Yeah,
anything good to be gained by it. I mean, he could have named army in general, but like when you start saying like uh start dropping names like this, the army, I think they had things had come to it, and they had to take an action to show him
exactly.
his place,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, quickly moving on to the impact on India, impact for India also. I doubt if the establishment here in New Delhi will do anything. They will just do a wait and watch policy. They might not even give out any public statement, simply because it is apparently. I mean, the way they look at it is that it will be an internal matter of Pakistan for them to deal with. But then I don't think they'll miss out on any opportunity to have a pot shot at how army rules everything in Pakistan. Be that as it may, the SEO summit that I spoke about, where Shahbaz Sharif will be coming down in July, I think that will be something to watch out for. On the border and the LOC, the army will continue to be at high alert, especially with what we saw in Rajouri late last week. So I think that is the kind of alertness that the Indian establishment will be in. But beyond that, I seriously doubt anything happening. Now, in the foreign capitals, I think India might continue to talk in terms of how this is a dangerous situation and within the region, and how we have to continue to keep a close watch on what is happening there. And IMF also, I'm just moving away from India. IMF also might want to be that much more circumspect in providing any bailout, especially with the political uncertainty continuing to rise, and with the federal elections just about 3, 4, 5 months away. So I think Pakistan will be left to feed for itself for the next 3, 4, 5 months until the elections are held. If for whatever reason elections are postponed, that will be only at the detriment of the economic situation within the country. Mohal?
Yeah, I think I mean India doesn't have to do anything. I mean, as some
Right.
people are saying, like that a weak Pakistan is good for India because the attention gets diverted. I mean, if there's a strong Pakistan, then they always try to create mischief in India and like we
Mm,
have terror attacks. So it's good they fight among themselves because if there's an Indian threat, it unites the country. So to your point, I think we have to keep a watch on the border because they might try to the army if things get bad, they might try to create a diversion with India, like try to do a Pulwama type of event, especially
mm,
with the G20 summit also coming. Like, they might want
mm,
to create trouble in Kashmir because the G20 event in Srinagar is, I think, end of this month. So we'll be have to be on a keep on our watch and make sure that, and but other than that we don't have to do anything here. I mean, there's not much to be done anyways if they want to keep fighting among themselves. Like if the attention is diverted in internal politics, is always good for India. I mean, maybe some of the Jappi Puppy gang, as they say, might be
mm.
disappointed and they might want India to help out Pakistan, but I think we should just stay our hands off and
Right.
not do anything. I think that's the best course of action. Let it sink in its own mess more and more as the days go by.
Yes.
Kishore.
Yeah, I think we have covered everything that we intended to. Mohal, any closing thoughts?
No, I think it will be the next few days will be interesting. I mean, let's see if the army does declare martial law. I mean, it looks like far-fetched at this point. They
Mm,
might just
mm,
get the police to crack down on all these PT activists, and it'll be interesting to see, like in the run-up to the elections, whether Imran gets disqualified and what kind of support. Because I mean, from all reports we see, like Imran will probably might, I mean, win a election if he's allowed to contest,
mm,
and he might even get the majority this time, unlike last time where he had to get some allied support because the other parties are thoroughly discredited in most of
mm.
Pakistani people's eyes. So interesting. I mean, as I said, there's never dull week in Pakistan.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I totally agree. I think there will be an attempt to isolate PTI politically by
Yeah.
portraying them to be a party of thugs and arsonists and
Mm-hmm.
somebody who believe in violence rather than taking the judicial route out. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
way there will be attempts to discredit them further and further. Whereas the ruling coalition, I think they'll continue to keep their mouths mum by not angering the army, so to speak, so that they continue to remain in their good books and continue to remain in relevant in the political equations of the country, at least for now. So I think the attempts will be to isolate PTI further and further, ensure that Imran Khan does not come out of jail in whichever way possible. If not in this case, probably in the blasphemy case or any other such cases that he faces. So I think that way we might see more and more legal problems that Imran Khan could get into and possibly never come out of the jail, at least in the near future. Okay, so I think that brings us to the end of this particular episode. We hope that you liked this particular episode. To continue discussing about such episodes, we would like you to share any relevant topics. Keep in mind that they have to be impactful on India. So if you have any such topics, do let us know. But in the meanwhile, until our next episode, thank you for listening, and we'll be back soon.